Okay, so today we're going to learn how to build a circuit from materials that we have around our home. So, it's best to do this without supervision, or at least get help with preparing the Christmas light before you make this. So some of the materials you need are a 9-volt battery. So I have here some aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is the shiny metal. A piece of thin cardboard. Now, you could use a cereal box or any kind of box you might have around your house that's thin. I happen to have some Bristol board, so I'm using that. You'll need a ruler to measure out your paper if you need to cut it. Scissors, of course. Tape. You can use Scotch, white, or electrical, whatever you have around the house. I'm going to be using electrical because I happen to have some. You will need potentially some double-sided tape to make the switch, but not necessary. I'll show you how to do it without it. I don't have double-sided, so I'm using just electrical tape actually. An old Christmas light. I took a string of lights, old one that had a couple burnt out ones, and I cut it up. So this will be one of those, or you'll use just a regular light bulb from a flashlight. A little bit more tricky to use. This is a bit simpler, so if you have that, that'd be great. Maybe you have some dollar store ones around too. You can cut up. Ask your parents' permission though. A pencil lead. I have a little pencil lead somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. So I took just one out of a pencil, or you may have a container of extra leads. That's what we're gonna use that. And some felt that we put under furniture. So I've already cut my piece, but this is what it looks like. We're gonna cut a little piece to use in our switch as well. Okay, so if you're using your Christmas lights, you'll need an adult to help you expose the wires. So it says 3 centimeters of expose 3 centimeters on each side of the plastic coating. I'm looking at mine, and I actually only cut it to just over 1, and that was sufficient. So 3 centimeters would take you to there. So if you could do that, that's great. 1 to 3 would be fine. And we will need a square of 25 to 30 centimeters, a rectangle, sorry, obviously, of 25 to 30. So mine is a little bit smaller. I'm using actually, you can see like 28 by 23, and that is just fine. So when I made one, I made it even smaller, my other one. So that's the maximum you can make it. You can make it as big as you like actually, but this size is fine that I have. Up to 25 to 30 is great. So you cut your cardboard, then cut your aluminum foil into 4 centimeter wide strips. So I just ripped a piece off. Here's my piece here, right? So you're gonna cut that. So 4 centimeter strips. I'm not actually measuring, but you can measure if you're not sure how much that is. I'm gonna go by eye. This doesn't need to be perfect either, because you're making a strip to make a wire with. So I'm gonna do one, and then, so I'm making it the full length, and we will use what we need once we put it onto our paper. So I just fold it in half, just like that, and then fold it one more time. Again, see how I didn't do it perfectly? It's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best. It's all gonna press together and help us conduct electricity. So there's a wire, and I made a few other ones already, so I could be ready to make my circuit. So it says tape the aluminum foil to the cardboard in a rectangle shape, leaving a gap at each end of the circuit. Make sure the gap to the battery allows for the negative and positive terminal still to touch the foil, and leave a gap for your pencil lead and where your switch will go. So you can choose where you really like this to be. I'm just giving you some input as to where I'd like it to see it. As long as it lights up, that'll be great. So see how I'm gonna cut mine to be about that length. And so I suggest you make 4 wires to get them ready. I'm gonna cut another one. Just has to be as wide to cross over so they touch. So there we go. I'm gonna make another one for this side. just like that. And we need one more on this side. So they just need to touch, and we're gonna tape it so it'll be fine. So we got our 4 wires, and we need to leave some gaps. So I suggest you tape it down. In my discoveries, I found taping it down worked better. So when I pre-cut some of my tape, I suggest you might do that too, so you're just ready to tape it on. So I'm going to put a piece of tape at this corner, a piece of tape, I'm gonna try to get that to straighten out a little bit, piece of tape at this corner, put another piece of tape at this corner, and one more at the other corner. Okay. Okay, so I got to leave a place for my battery. So look with your battery, measure up to make sure that a piece of your battery, the positive, and notice where it tells you, here's our negative terminal, and that's our positive terminal. They both have to touch, okay, even though there's a gap in between. So just, it doesn't have to be a very big one, as you can see. Just a little gap. There we go. So we want it to be between the terminals, and I can measure up and see, yes, that's gonna work. Okay, that's where my battery is gonna be. You also need a place for your light. So, and I'm not gonna, oh yeah, let's put our light in. So I'm gonna leave a gap at this side. I'm gonna put my light on this side for this one. Gap like that. This is where my light's gonna go. I've already have my Christmas light prepared, and I'm going to need another gap for the pencil lead. I'm just going to put it at this side this time. Little gap. The pencil lead's going to go. Pencil lead's at this side, and I'm also going to have a switch. So for the switch, I'm going to put my switch at this side here. And I'm going to cut a space just like that in the middle. And I'm not going to make it a gap because you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so now I've got my 4 sides of my circuit ready to go. And if you need more tape, by all means add it, because I saw this side was starting to slide out, so I want to make sure it stays. So I'm going to put a piece of tape there. Okay, so so the next thing we're gonna do is make a switch. Okay, so I have pre-made a switch just from a little piece of cereal box. That's what I used. So I cut out a small piece to fit where my switch is gonna go, which is right here. Okay, and this metal is gonna go on top of it. So once I cut out the piece of cardboard, I then put tape on either side, and see how I put a little bend right there? So that's because my switch has to come up and go down. And next thing I need then is my little piece of felt to put under there as well. So I've got my felt. I cut a small square. I mean, sorry, that's a triangle. Not even, it's rounded on the sides. But I cut a small piece, and it's going to go underneath my switch. So it goes this way. I've already used this one. So I'm going to tape on my switch into where it goes. And, oh, I just realized something. No, you got to take this piece out. This has to be slightly longer to go all the way over the top. Okay, so the switch has to come all the way over. Why? Because the metal is going to touch at the other side. So you tape that on, and if you find it's not long enough, like mine's not looking great, it might work. Yeah, see, that's not, this has to go over top of that. That's not gonna work. So I'm gonna need a longer piece of aluminum foil. So I'm just gonna grab a longer piece right now. So sometimes you have to redo things. You'll just find that'll happen. I'm doing this just with you right now, and I didn't make the piece. So let's see, is that one gonna be long enough now? Yeah, that one, look. See how mine overlaps? You need that to happen. So make sure that that piece will do that. So I'm gonna leave my little piece of felt, put this back underneath my, has to be underneath the tape, otherwise it will not connect. So we have to make sure that happens. I might need to take this piece, tape right off and redo it. It's fine. There we go. It's coming off now. Okay, so let's try that again. So there, that was my gap for my cells. Remember, not a wide gap. I want this to come on top and it has to be taped. Okay, remember this has to go over top of that for my switch. Then I place my switch. I want my switch to come over top, so make sure, see how I'm measuring where that's gonna go? I just place it over top like that. My little piece of felt is gonna go right here. And where did my little piece of felt, it's sticking to me. Okay, so put your little piece of felt underneath and you'll see how it makes it lift up a little bit. Okay, because that's what we want our switch to do. We don't want it to be closed all the time. And now again, I think I'm seeing that, oh, I might have just enough space. So when my switch comes down and closes, notice, see how that'll happen? It keeps it up. I press it to close it. So that's how my switch is gonna work. When I press on it, it closes my switch. Now we're gonna see how that's gonna work when we're ready for it. So we can put our pencil lead in, and you're going to look up why that is. Why are we using a pencil lead? You'll figure that out. So I'm gonna put my pencil lead in place. Make sure it closes the gap. Remember, we need a closed switch for our electricity to be able to go through it. Okay, so here's my, okay, we'll close that up. Tape on one side and the other side. We still have some gaps here. We got a gap right here. What's going there? My light bulb. I'm gonna tape that in place too. So I'm gonna put this light bulb, tape one side, just like that. Has to touch the metal, and this side has to touch as well. So it's handy to have all your tape cut into smaller pieces so you don't have to keep cutting all the time. Okay, tape that on. What's left? Well, let's test it out. We're gonna put our battery onto both sides. So both sides of the little gap here, the battery has to close it up. So close that up and close your switch, and voila, look at that. I have light. Isn't that awesome? So much fun. Now you can make your, just try it again. Look at that. It's lighting up. Ta-da! Now, if you want to make this more permanent, you can always tape your battery in place with some black tape. Now, I would recommend that you don't leave it for a long time like that. Once you're done playing around with it, you should untape it just to be on the safe side. Okay? All right, so that's it. That's our circuit. Hope you have some fun with this. I look forward to seeing your pictures. Very exciting. Have a good night.